And today, as promised, I got to bring in the author of Deeply Rooted. Here she, Jametria Mays. I was gonna say hi, everybody. um, so today I was get some time from her to be able to talk about her book. I am so excited for what the book is doing. So been out for about 3 weeks now. Demetria, is it doing as you expected?
I wouldn't say as I expected, but I say that it's doing really good, you know.
Mhm.
And that's just because me, I mean, I feel like we are our hardest critics. And I just first of all, I be thinking I'm a celebrity at times, like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get 1 million copies sold in 1 week. But unfortunately it don't work like that, right? So
No.
it's not doing as I wanted it to do, but actually it's doing really really good. Like people are receiving it really well, and that's what's warming me, you know. So
It is,
I'm really excited for the journey.
yeah. It is such a remarkable book. Like I told my viewers that I was able to receive early, and when I read it, I literally was like holding my chest tight of like, oh my goodness.
Oh.
Do you get the reaction from a lot of people that they feel like hard read, or is it different from everybody? Mhm. Yeah.
Have they're been able to relate to it so much
Yeah.
that ready to even relive the things that they have been through. So with that, I think that it is pretty difficult for some people to read, but for the most part, in the people that have read it, they are receiving, like I mentioned, they're receiving it well. They are saying how they becoming very emotional. And in fact, I mean, a lot of I've been getting hits out of nowhere that everyone's ready to start their own journey and write. And so that makes me so happy because that was part of the goal. You know, I'm like, listen, let's empower each other. Let's build each other up. Like, don't be afraid to tell your story, girl. Like, we got this. We got this. You know?
We definitely
So,
do. Yes.
with it. I'm so in love with it.
No, when I read the book, I definitely was more of like, hey, if she can do it, then I can do it as well. So you kind of had that
Exactly.
link of information of like, wow, like
Yeah.
being able to tell the story. The book is continued to be very, very vulnerable. What
Yeah.
caused you to be able to finally tell your story?
I mean, honestly, I've been wanting to tell my story for a while, but I think what was holding me back was that I was still in toxic relationships
Mm,
and they made me just a little bit insecure. Not a little bit, a lot of insecure. So with that, I was just I was afraid to just speak out on that. You know, I'm with that because I had a man that was like, you ain't, you know, just kind of just trying to bring me down, and then he would critique everything that I did. So I never felt like my book or my voice was good enough, you know. But I've always wanted to tell my story because I felt like it needed to be told.
right.
And I wanted to reach out to other women to let them know that they're not alone. Because for me, I've always felt alone. You know, I've always felt like, dang, like I have nobody to turn to. I don't know what to do.
Right.
But I always, so with that, I wanted to tell my story, but it was just really hard because I had a lot of, you know, feedback from just negative people, negative feedback. And they were just like, oh, you shouldn't tell that. You once I was able to block out that negativity and just push it, I just feel just so happy, you know. And like I mentioned, the response that I'm getting from it has been so beautiful. And I'm just so grateful.
That's so beautiful. Hi for all those who have joined. Again, I am talking to the author of Deeply Rooted. We are just discussing a little bit about the book. And yeah, so the little ones who just joined in, that's a little quick update. So Demetria, do you have a favorite chapter in your book that you just love?
Actually, you know, it's funny because everyone asks me that, and I do. I actually have a few, but one of my favorites is depression.
Mine
And
too.
yeah, it is one of my favorites for many reasons. And then I also love I love all of them, but I think that the favorite would be that. And of course, I thought he loved me, because I have been in such a toxic relationship back to back that I just felt like, yeah, I felt like I was loved. I was longing for love. My childhood was pretty screwed up, right? And I thought that that man loved me. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor. I thought he was my fairy tale, but in all reality, he wasn't. He was kind of using me the whole time. But it is what it is. Yeah. So I kind of express all of that. And I know a lot of women kind of go through the same things. So
Mhm.
I felt that was very necessary to speak on.
What I love about her book, you guys, is the fact that she starts from the beginning. And again, I'm going to get emotional because I know what the beginning is. She beginning, and that's a thing that I teach is that the fact that our behaviors start off from childhood, and so for her, she
Hmm.
shared a really deep cause, the deeply rooted cause to her behavior of being.
Hmm.
And I guess my question to
Hmm.
you, Demetria, is the fact that do you have more compassion for little Mimi? Like, do you look at her and you
Yeah.
want to hold her? Like, how do you? What would you say to
Yeah.
her if you today? What kind of advice would you give to her? Knowing that
It's
we're.
funny. Yeah, well, it's funny though because I'm learning to be a little bit more patient with her, right? And with my younger self, and as I'm, growing in me now, what I've grown to, because I think that, as I even mentioned, like chapters in my book about imperfection, I have always felt like I needed to do things a certain type of way, and I felt like little Mimi was always just trying to be, the people pleaser. I just wanted to make everybody happy. Like for those who don't know, or reading my book is learning that I touch on being sexually abused. And even with that, that was from my biological father. And so I felt like I needed to do what he wanted me to do to make him happy. Although I felt weird out about it. I just felt like, oh, this makes him happy. I just want to be daddy's girl, whatever the case may be. Sorry, I got dogs in the background. Excuse me. But even from that point on, when I have friends, I've always wanted to be like the life of the party and like, hey, all happy and fun. And I never really just sat and was thinking to myself, like, are you happy? And if you really sit back and think, I'm like, I was never happy, and I feel like that's the reason why I also accepted a lot of things that I shouldn't have accepted. So just looking back into the little Mimi, I would just be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more patient with her, and just let her know, like, look, it's okay. You don't have your It's okay to not be happy at this moment. It's okay to not be okay, and I do have a lot of compassion for her. But that's just part of what we're trying to overcome, so
Definitely. You stated in your book that you are healing and you're still on a healing journey, and so I think that's
exactly.
life is that we are literally trying to figure out this thing called life, right?
Right.
Um, so that's the whole thing is that you're seeing where it stemmed from was like the the father. You talked about the
Hmm.
relationship with your mother, your
Hmm.
siblings, and to me, it's just such a good read to where it leaves you wanting more, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
is there going to be another book? Do we Are we going to
There
get another book
will
out of it?
be. There will be. I'm actually, it's in progress now, but yes, it will be. Listen, my life is a movie, okay? And not even just with the books, I've even incorporated a lot of these stories into my films. Right now, I am studying film and I'm studying to be a screenwriter. So, with that, like part of what I write about is about childhood trauma and some of the things that I've been through. So yeah, it's just
So one of the things I was going to say is this book has prayers, it has poems, and it expresses journey. Were you
yeah.
always artistic in the sense of the art and you like were you always a poet? Was this something that you kind of escaped to when you did have to go through? childhood trauma or like and being a writer? Like, is this something that's natural for you?
I would say so, yes. I think that writing has always been my escape route, right? Because I feel like, I come from a family where it's really hard to express what it is that you're actually going through, just because of a lot of negative feedback. My family just tends to throw a lot of things under the rug. So, and they make it really hard to talk to. Like, they are very judgmental. And I'm not here to just kind of just jump and go in on them. But with that, I felt like I was never heard. I was never seen, or my story would never matter, right? Hell, I don't matter. So,
Oh,
part of my escape route was to go write about it, like, hey, this is my little journal. And we
yes.
going to get through that way.
I like you were talking about like your of like how to finish
Yeah.
express because no one will listen. And I guess that's another thing is that like you guys really do have to get the book, like literally. I don't want to
Go
give it
get the
away.
book. I'm telling you,
I don't want
it's
to give it away.
juicy. It's
I'm gonna do that.
tea. It's tea.
I'm gonna leave the link below so that you guys can get the book. But one of the things I also want to share is the fact that you've it showed a chapter talking about like now you now, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the people in your life like reading the book, is this your way of sharing, like it's kind of like you, it's like they don't listen. I think this is their way of getting them to listen to you is through reading this book? Like,
I
do you
mean, if
have
I'm
noticed?
honest, if I'm being honest, I would say no. Because some things is just a character trait. Some people just don't. I mean, excuse my language. Some people just don't give a shit. And then they kind of just take a negative toll on that too. Like, oh my gosh, in her book, she said this and she said that. But are you actually like getting something like positive out of it? Like, it's almost like you're literally looking at the book and you just pointing out all the negative words, right? But did you actually read it like through and get the meaning behind everything that I'm saying? So I don't think that it's a way for me to feel hurt. I just wanted to get my truth out there. I just wanted to be able to express myself in the way that I feel safe. And I just feel like it's not for everybody, but who it's for is for. And I just feel like that, like I mentioned, I'm receiving a lot of good positive energy behind it. And that is enough for me. So when it comes down to, like family members or certain people that's not so for the book, I'm okay with that. Like, you guys didn't help me down long enough. And I'm okay. Like, listen, baby, you ain't never got to read it. We good. We good over here.
I love that, guys, because she's such a talented person and she just doesn't know her, when I say she doesn't know her, she knows her worth, but like how much she brings to this
Yeah.
world. And
Yeah.
like
I
her
mean, we still
wisdom,
learning.
right.
Girl, we
But
ain't
you
got to figure it out, but we gonna figure it
got
out, okay?
that one. You shared that you have a nonprofit organization. Do you want to share a little
I
bit more
do.
about
Absolutely. My nonprofit is called 50 Shades of Roses, and it is designed to help women that have been abused and battered, from childhood on up until adulthood, and just to give them a safe space, whether it's just us going to do some community work together, if some people need sheltering for housing, sorry, if they're in abusive relationships and need an escape route, and a long list of other things. They could definitely check out more about that nonprofit at 50shadesofroses.com.
that? Love that. I have
Thank
to
you.
say it was beautiful because like part of her book, she went to her grandmother and asked her, like her grandmother suggest or advised her to stay with her abusive cousin. So if you didn't have no other where to no other place to go, you're then stuck. But she had her organization helps you with that. So I think that's just so
Yeah.
beautiful. The opera, the resource out there. So you guys, I do have to wrap up, but it was really, really nice being able to catch up. Demetria. I
Yes,
do.
it's always a good time talking to you. Always. And just so that everyone know, honestly, my cousin Jay has been the one pushing me and motivating me to push this book. And I greatly appreciate her for that because like I mentioned, I had a lot of people in my back that was kind of giving me, just push back behind it. And she was like, girl, no. And so with that, I greatly appreciate you because,
Thank you.
without you giving me that push, I probably would have held it another year or two, just to be honest. And so I remember we were just on the phone, right? And you were just like, so what's going on? I was like, I don't know. I might just push it next week. And you was like, are you sure? And remember, and then I was just like, and I texted you and I was just like, girl, it's going out. And you were like, I'm so happy.
I
So I
was
appreciate
so
you
excited.
motivating
Yeah, I
me.
was
I
so
greatly appreciate
excited.
you motivating me to push this. Like, no, seriously, it is definitely has been a life changing experience.
Well, you
Mhm.
guys, I don't want to leave you without a treat. So we are going to create a podcast that talks
Yes.
more deep about these chapters.
Yes.
Chapters are deep and also other people's stories. And so we are going to start that maybe in the next week or two. It is going to
Yeah.
call Deeply Rooted. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. And we'll get to hear more from Jametria personality and just me and her together. So look for it to that.
Yes.
But until next time, bye everybody. Have
Bye. Thanks you guys for
bye.
coming.
Thank you.